I am going to be covering the topic of anti-Semitism, not because I want to get into political realm of it. It happens on the anti-Semitism happens on the right wing and it happens on the left wing. The simple basic summary of why it happens on the left wing and it happens on the right wing is because left-wingers have a tendency to be anti-religion, anti-Levitical Law. And the reason why it happens on the right wing is because they're very ignorant of the truth and the reality of how the Bible itself works and how it flows through and things of that sort. They jump to the conclusion that everyone in a certain group has the right idea, and they really don't. It's all on an individual basis and a heart change basis. Okay? So, I am going to encourage you to examine your own heart. Okay? Here's the first question. Have you ever hated a person who is a Bible thumper? If you have, whether they're the Old Testament and of the covenant type of Bible thumper or a New Testament type of Bible thumper. They both have a Bible thumper nature. Okay? One way or another. Okay? Have you ever stood by idly when a person was in danger? Okay? If you just watch someone suffer, you are having issues. Okay? Have you ever wronged someone in speech when you knew the facts of them didn't line up? In other words, to think ill well of someone. Okay? Have you ever carried tales about someone in your heart? Have you ever taken revenge on someone? Have you ever bared a grudge against someone? Have you ever put a Jewish or Levant person, or the family members that raised them, or were associated with them very closely, to shame, whether you knew their heritage or not? Sometimes these people can have Muslim, Christian, or other religious conditions. They can still have Jewish heritage. Okay? Have you ever cursed someone from Israeli upbringing or Bible lands upbringing, such as a person that was raised in Egypt? Have you ever cursed someone from those areas in their upbringing on the globe? Have you ever let someone who is not as smart as or more disabled stumble in their way through life? Just let someone stumble. Have you ever let someone continue in their sin? To keep stealing, to keep lying, etc., etc. Okay? So, essentially, if you go through that question, all those questions, and if you said yes to any of those, you're creating an environment that is brewing anti-Semitism. It could be in your family. It could be not in your family. It could be in your community. It could be in your church. It could be in a synagogue. Something is brewing anti-Semitism. It's coming from somewhere. The reason why maybe some Jewish people don't want to be a part of a synagogue is because they don't feel love, brotherly love. So that's why they probably don't. So, somewhere, it's going to brew some hatred. Hatred brews anti-Semitism one way or another. Don't assume or don't point at political figures to fix the problem. It's in ourselves. It's in our heart. Okay? And you know what? If a person really considers what happened in Pittsburgh, the Tree of Life Synagogue, that man clearly was brought up in an environment that brewed hatred. There's a marriage problem in the parents, and his dad had issues, and that created a big family chaos. Anti-Levitical chaos, basically, from his heart. And evil was brewing inside. So, the evil of anti-Semitism is coming from somewhere. It's not a mystery, if you really look into things. In fact, when anti-Semitism occurs, guess who else gets hurt by it? People of other heritages and nationalities. Why? Because some people have the partial heritage of that sort of Semitic heritage. When Nazi Germany occurred, I think, as far as I know, more non-Jewish people died in World War II than actual Jewish people, even though Jewish people were the victims. So, anti-Semitism needs to be addressed, and the origins of it are not with people that are always carrying the swastika stuff around or all the filthy stuff like that. The origins of it are from people who have hatred in their heart. They hate the Levitical laws. They hate the idea that Jesus, who is Jewish, said, if you love me, obey my commandments. So if you were really, truly free from anti-Semitism, you are clinging to the Redeemer, who redeemed us from sin, who redeemed us from all these things that are opposed to Levitical standards. Okay? Now, I don't really consider that people who don't know Jesus is the Messiah. I don't really believe that you can force that on a person. They have to feel like they want him. Okay? I don't believe that you can force anything on anybody. You just have to point out that they need him, and then they'll find him. So they'll know who he is when they find him. They have to trust him. Okay? So I'll let you think about those things, and if you find a person that harbors things that are opposed to Levitical standards, you need to confront them. I mean, it says right here, if you ever let someone continue in their sin, and all those things I was listing are coming from the book of Leviticus. The idea behind those things, Leviticus 18, Leviticus 19, Leviticus 25, things of that sort. Those are all coming from the book of Leviticus, all the ideas behind why we have to have love for humanity instead of hate, okay? Thank you, and I hope you consider these things wisely. Goodbye.